that Christ is the light of the world.
The Supreme Court says cross burnings, swastikas, and similar symbols of hatred are legal. Ross Perot, as we begin a special series on the candidate who has politicians and voters guessing, where did he come from and where does he want to lead America? And Eye on America. Tonight, discount outlet malls. Shoppers are driving hundreds of miles to save hundreds of dollars.
We're slashing prices. Everything must go.
This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening, Dan Rather reporting. The United States Supreme Court ruled today in a unanimous ruling that laws against cross burnings, swastikas, and other symbols of hatred are unconstitutional. CBS News law correspondent Rita Braver has details.
What do we want?
With the voice of hate rising across the nation, state and local governments have passed laws against displaying swastikas, burning crosses, or erecting other symbols that target people on the basis of race, religion, or sex. Now the U.S. Supreme Court says those laws violate the right of free speech.
It makes it clear that political expression is protected expression, even in as egregious an instance and circumstances as this.
The case began one night in 1990 on a quiet street in St. Paul, Minnesota, a street where the Joneses were the only black family.
I looked out the window and I saw this cross burning in my lawn. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it scared me. It really did.
Prosecutors could have brought charges of simple vandalism, but it was clearly a racist attack. So the cross burners, including alleged ringleader Robert Victoria, were charged under St. Paul's anti-hate crime law.
We have to articulate to the community, as well as a minority group that has been victimized, that society as a whole will not tolerate this type of activity.
But the Supreme Court, led by Justice Antonin Scalia, said the city cannot ban specific acts just because they communicate messages of intolerance.
What should be prosecuted were his acts, the acts of burning a thing on the private lawn of a family. But prosecuting it simply because what he happened to burn was a cross, and only because of that, is what we find objectionable.
Civil rights groups claim this case takes the idea of free expression too far.
I'm devastated by the decision that would say that people are it's not that bad to burn a cross on somebody's yard.
But the Supreme Court says bigots have a right to express their views, no matter how offensive they are. Rita Braver, CBS News at the Supreme Court.
In Paris, 4 former top health officials went on trial today, charged in what the French government admits was a public health disaster having to do with AIDS. Hundreds of people in France have died because the government failed to screen its blood supply for the AIDS virus. Bill McLaughlin is covering the trial.
The blood on the ground is symbolic, the anger is real, as what's called the scandal of the century came to trial. The accused directed the National Blood Bank, Health Ministry, and National Laboratory. They're charged with allowing people to be transfused with blood they knew was contaminated with the AIDS virus, that they kept that terrible fact a secret. Further, that they did nothing to protect those most in danger. And that it was all done to save money, that it would have been bad for their budgets to throw away tainted blood.
You see that it's only financial problems that were raised by the doctors and by the politicians. They did nothing to stop the contamination because they had all these products.
250 have died already. 1,500 hemophiliacs and as many as 10,000 others were infected with the AIDS virus at their hospitals and blood banks. Nationwide anger turned into nationwide grief when French television showed an unusual, highly personal glimpse into this tragedy. A father used his home video camera to record what the French health authorities did to his children. Patrick Godin began the taping before there was a hint of danger. His 2 older boys, Laurent and Stéphane, were hemophiliacs, but that was treatable thanks to France's national health program. Otherwise, they were healthy, happy boys, horsing around in the bath, in a pool, playing in the snow. Then, without warning, Laurent became sick. The parents were finally told the truth. Their sons had AIDS. They were told there was hope, But no one told them there was American equipment that could purify the blood they themselves had injected into their children. No one told them the French Health Ministry had refused to buy it. Hope gave way to the conviction their children had been victimized by the state. The Gaudin desperately tried to keep the last months happy, but Laurent was exhausted. He could no longer speak. He wanted only to sleep. Just before the end, Stéphane asked his brother a question. Have you decided to die? Laurent nodded. Yes. Now Stéphane is alone in his battle against AIDS. Bill McLaughlin, CBS News, Paris.
In this country, the U.S. federal government gave temporary approval today to an experimental AIDS drug. DDC was approved for use in combination with another AIDS drug called AZT. CBS News health correspondent Edie Magnus has been following the story. Edie, what's the significance of this?
Dan, DDC is the third antiviral drug which is approved for AIDS patients to help their immune systems ward off infection. And AIDS groups are quite excited about it. But there is an interesting twist. This drug was approved so quickly that a lot of experts don't know much about it, what the dosage should be, when patients should start taking it, whether DDC will increase survival at all. And there are concerns about its toxicity and about side effects, including neurological damage.
Make no mistake about it, we are taking certain risks in granting approval to the combination use of DDC today. We may be wrong, and let me underscore that point. I'm saying up front that we may be wrong.
A startling admission from the increasingly cautious FDA, but one which reflects years of pressure by activists who have assailed the agency's slow approval process and accused it of being indifferent to those suffering and dying of AIDS. Now, says Dr. Kessler, the riskiest course when it comes to AIDS is not to take risks. Dan?
Edie Magnus, thanks. Federal health officials have approved a new drug called Proscar to treat benign enlarged prostate glands without surgery. Enlarged prostate is a painful condition that affects millions of men, most of them over age 50. Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, new violence in South Africa further strains the struggle against apartheid. And our money crunch. If you think you've locked in your mortgage rate, Ray Brady has the key.
At Ford Motor Company, we don't just build quality cars and
Ford
trucks.
Customer Assistance Center, how may I help
We build
you?
relationships. Our Customer Assistance Department assists over 4,000 people a day on everything from warranties to how to program a keyless entry system. It's part of a whole philosophy at Ford that's rapidly changing the ownership experience.
Well, it's important to us that you're happy with your car. Thanks for calling Ford.
Ford Motor Company. Quality is job one.
It's working.
It's working.
I've got a 6 a.m. flight. I've got to get some Z's.
Nitol safely helps you fall asleep fast so you can get your Z's. Nitol or maximum strength Nitol.
Nitol will help you get your Z's.
My hemorrhoids hurt so much, I was afraid I needed surgery. But my doctor said they weren't serious, and it's time I used Preparation H.
Preparation H helps shrink swelling of inflamed hemorrhoidal tissues and often relieves pain, itching, and burning for hours. Doctor recommended Preparation H.
Financial markets plunged in South Africa today as black leaders threatened to stop talking and start fighting for majority rule. The transition process was thrown into reverse by a massacre late last week in a black township. CBS newsman Mike Sullivan in Johannesburg has the latest.
The slaughter across South Africa this past week has struck deep into the heart of a country that seemingly can bear no more death. At a memorial service today, Archbishop Desmond Tutu said it might be time to once again isolate South Africa.
When we return to the Olympic Games, we must be able to do so in a spirit of celebration and unity. We cannot do it with a country in a state of national mourning for our dead.
Tutu's tears were for those slaughtered at Boipatong, a township unknown outside South Africa until armed gangs shot and hacked to death 39 people. Residents blame the government and its police for the killings. This weekend, President F.W. de Klerk went to Boipatong to express his sympathies, but instead was chased out by angry residents. After that, police opened fire on crowds adding to an already mounting toll of dead and injured. For many young people in the township, now it's time to fight back. The killings have forced the African National Congress to suspend some talks with the government, but will decide tomorrow whether or not to abandon negotiations altogether.
These massacres have been repeated again and again and again. So it's a watershed, but it's also the last straw breaking the camel's back.
While negotiations have suffered setbacks before, this is the worst. It remains to be seen if a middle ground and renewed trust can be found to stop the killings and to allow the talking to begin again. Mike Sullivan for CBS News, Johannesburg.
The Philippine Congress today officially declared Fidel Ramos the winner of last month's presidential election. Ramos will take office June 30th. From around the world now, more CBS News. In Israel, Prime Minister Shamir and his rival Yitzhak Rabin campaigned down to the wire for tomorrow's elections. Polls indicate a tight race with a chance that neither will win a majority in parliament. In the civil war in Bosnia, another massacre by mortar fire. Serbian forces in Sarajevo fired 10 rounds into a street crowded with civilians. At least 8 were killed, 80 wounded. In the former Soviet Republic of Moldova, fighting raged between government forces and ethnic Russians backed by elements of the Russian army. The United States calls on Boris Yeltsin to withdraw his troops from Moldova. In Los Angeles, truck driver Reginald Denny is expected to get out of the hospital again this week, and his doctors say he should make a full recovery. In an exclusive CBS News interview over the weekend, Denny said he wanted to show America he is recovering and give the nation a Father's Day thank you. And Hollywood is celebrating a summer box office boom for the sequel Batman Returns. Despite mixed reviews at best, the movie earned a record $46 million on its first weekend.
Hey, stud. I thought we had something together.
Why don't you take a break and meet me?
I can't. I am in the middle of the most romantic novel. Call you later.
Later? Romantic? I'll show you romantic. Domino's, I'm coming in.
Come into Domino's now for our 99-cent carry-out special. With any pizza at the regular price, get a one-topping medium for 99 cents.
Domino's? Ronnie, my Romeo.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
You like pizza at home?
Never seen nothing like it. I mean, Rusty Slade was an ornery sort. Always ate his old bran flakes just for fiber. But one morning, I gave him Kellogg's new complete bran flakes. Weren't the same. More than fiber, they had whole grain wheat. Flakes were new too, crispy, crunchy. Why, that Kellogg's complete bran flakes even had a better nutty taste. It was all so good, made Rusty smile. Almost. New Kellogg's complete bran flakes. Fiber and then some.
Who are you going to call the most this month?
My parents. I travel a lot, so I call back home quite often. I call my sister back in Ohio.
With Sprint's new program, The Most, you'll automatically save on whoever you call the most each month.
Steve?
There are no startup lists, no restrictions. Every month you can save on someone entirely new.
This month it'll probably be Greg. My daughter in Las Vegas. Next month, who knows?
This thing's perfect for her.
The violator, the victim, and the manhunt. Rape, the crime in the dark. 48 hours following Raven Wednesday.
Interest rates are lower than they've been in years, and millions of American homeowners have been racing to the bank to refinance their mortgages. But many are finding the bargain terms they are promised are not always delivered at closing. Ray Brady has been looking into this and shows you now how this can happen and how to keep it from happening to you in tonight's report on the Money Crunch.
And you wanted to refinance with no cash out?
Prepared to do the refinance?
Today is right.
You remember these pictures from earlier this year. Homeowners flocking to refinance their mortgage at a lower rate, many saving thousands of dollars a year on their payments. Reverend Jim and Pat Hutchins thought they'd save too.
We wanted to get a 15-year loan at 2% difference, which would have made a tremendous difference for us at our age.
The savings would be enough to help them keep this house when Reverend Hutchins retired. They had done all the paperwork for it, 7.5% for 15 years, locked in, supposedly a done deal. But then the Hutchins say their mortgage broker started backpedaling.
He said he didn't get to the computer to lock it in, and by the time he got to the computer, the rates were up.
Then, after 5 months of delay, they were offered 8.1% on a 30-year mortgage on the morning of the closing. The Hutchins were outraged. Across America, thousands of people who think they have locked-in rates at rock-bottom levels end up paying more. Sometimes it's legitimate. Banks are overwhelmed. Often, though, lenders stall, figuring that rates will go up, and desperate homeowners will pay up.
They hold the consumers then with them, and then when they get to the closing, they've got the consumers over a barrel.
They said, well, sorry, that's interest rates have gone up, and this is what we're offering you.
If you're thinking about refinancing, there are few laws concerning your rights. Your best protection is to check with others who have refinanced. They can steer you to lenders who'll treat you right. If you think you're not getting a fair deal, make noise. Call the bank president. Get in touch with your state attorney general. Ring up the Better Business Bureau. Making noise worked for the Hutchins. A few days after they told their mortgage broker they were to testify in Congress and were talking to CBS News, they got a new mortgage, a 15-year mortgage at 7.5%. Ray Brady, CBS News, The Money Crunch.
Stay here with us now for more of the CBS Evening News, including our detailed examination of Ross Perot.
Well, I thought college kids didn't need sleep. You need coffee.
I got that.
Freeze-dried? Welcome to Coffee 101. See, mine's darker. It's decaffeinated Folgers crystals from mountain-grown beans.
My classes ended yesterday.
Mine's still darker. Taste.
This is good.
Now you're talking.
Hey, I am, aren't I?
Decaffeinated Folgers crystals, so dark and rich. Shouldn't you switch?
Hi, this is Phil Rizzuto for the Money Store. For our 25th anniversary, the Money Store is offering a special loan program, the 25-year fixed-rate second mortgage. This second mortgage payment plan is the lowest we've ever offered in our 25-year history. With today's low rates, now is a great time to lock in your loan payments and still get a tax deduction on the interest. So, for our lowest payment plan ever, call 1-800-LOAN-YES. That's the Money Store at 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Good luck up there today.
I'll need it.
What's wrong?
What if my diarrhea comes back?
Relax. You took my Imodium AD caplets.
Just one dose. I usually take the pink stuff 2 or 3 times.
Imodium AD is much better.
Imodium AD caplets are so effective, they often work in one dose, instead of dose after dose after dose like the pink stuff.
Hello? Hi, hon. I feel great.
Imodium AD for diarrhea, the choice for one-dose relief.
What's the prescription for healing our healthcare crisis? We'll tell you which financial ailments can be cured tomorrow on CBS This Morning with Harry Smith and Paula Zahn.
In the presidential campaign, Democrat Governor Bill Clinton told U.S. mayors today about his new detailed economic plan. Clinton said it would bring America back and bring America back together. President Bush personally is stepping up his attacks on independent Ross Perot, and the president, through surrogates, is unloading a drumbeat of negative campaign accusations against Perot. Perot believes he has at least a shot at unseating President Bush this year. While many voters say they support Perot, few know very much about him. So all this week, we'll be taking a closer look at who Perot is and what this businessman from Texas stands for. Tonight, Eric Ingberg reports on Perot's roots and how he got where he is.
Ross Perot in 1969 on running for president.
I honestly believe I would make one of the worst elected officials in the history of this country. We all have a role to play in life. Some people have that as their role. My role is to run a good financial pump and to use those resources to make this great country of ours an even greater country. That's my job. That's a job I hope I'll continue to do well. But that's all I plan to do.
Ross Perot in 1992, clearly running.
Hey, good to see you. How are you? Eyes of Texas are upon you.
He can be straightforward one minute, hard to fathom the next. A maddening mixture of tough guy and charmer. But there's one constant that's defined his life.
an obsession to get to the top of whatever heap he's in and to do it his way.
He's always been captivated by the triumph of his ideas over convention, and that's what drives the man.
He grew up during the Depression in the East Texas farm town of Texarkana, delivering papers, joining the Boy Scouts.
He was a little guy. He was 5'6", but he was a tough, tenacious little guy.
He was a mediocre student in school, but a star debater. The family had a nice home. Ross's father was a successful cotton broker. Once he was rich, Perot bought back the house, only to find someone had painted over the bricks.
To restore the natural look, Perot brought in workmen to turn each and every brick around so the red was facing out.
Out on his own as a Navy officer, then computer salesman for IBM, Perot tangled with the system because he felt it was holding him back. So he made his own. His baby, EDS, came at exactly the right time. A highly profitable business in computer services was developing around the newborn Medicare and Medicaid programs. Perot hired military vets. He liked their discipline. He offered big financial rewards if they played by his rules.
Told you how to live your life, basically, and it was a moral, upright life that he wanted you to live.
Perot made the leap from billionaire to legend a decade ago by organizing a jailbreak for 2 EDS workers caught up in the Iranian Revolution. While he publicly scorns politicians, he has been inside politics for decades, a heavy contributor to candidates, an unofficial advisor to presidents. But in this, the year of the outsider, the elusive Perot is playing up his maverick side, a staggeringly self-confident super salesman trying for the sale of a lifetime. Eric Engberg, CBS News, Texarkana, Texas.
Ross Perot is also a man who, over the years, has had a reputation for an active interest in conspiracies, conspiracy theories, and the world of covert intelligence. We'll look at that side of Ross Perot tomorrow night. Coming up here next tonight, Eye on America. Bargain-hungry shoppers finding an outlet for their obsession.
Flakes? What can I say? I mean, they look kind of stupid just sitting there. Lights out, nobody's home. I mean, look, there's no fruit, there's no raisins, there's nothing in here. There's something about this. It's kind of simple. It's really crunchy. You know, I like them.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes? Cool.
Taste them again for the first time.
Of 144 different import and domestic cars, only the elite make J.D. Power and Associates' top 10 models and initial quality list. That list now includes the Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. We believe it reflects the commitment of the people who make it and the dealers who sell it, as well as the wisdom of the people who bought it. Cutlass Sierra from Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Your routine, rugged, grueling, day after day. It's even harder when athlete's foot routinely comes back. But today, there's prescription-strength Lotrimin AF. Many types of fungus can cause athlete's foot, but Lotrimin AF is a broad-spectrum medicine, so it kills them all. No wonder it's the brand most recommended by doctors. So while there's no finish line for you, there is for your athlete's foot. Lotrimin AF.
You could ease up a little.
Table for 2 in about 5 minutes. Mr. Douglas, I have your table.
But you're not gonna. You could stop being a perfectionist. But you're not gonna. You're not gonna change because of heartburn, and you don't have to. There's something new that's like no ordinary antacid. New Maalox Heartburn Relief. It stops the burning and helps keep it from coming back. So get on with life like you're gonna live it. New Maalox Heartburn Relief is made for you.
If you're like most Americans, you're a lot more careful these days about the way you spend money. It's no sale unless it's on sale. Well, stores are catching on. Aaron Hayes takes you to the newest hunting ground for bargains. A new American trend in tonight's Eye on America.
So what brings you here?
Shopping. What do you think you'll find?
Everything I want. I got an Adolfo. I got a Bob Mackie. Can't wait to start shopping.
Shopping.
I was born to shop.
America's born shoppers haven't all been slowed by recession. Some have discovered the outlet mall.
They're half price. It's a good deal.
I've actually saved $100 in this one bundle.
At an outlet mall, shoppers can save 30 to 70% on everything from dishes to shoes,
back to your heel.
from underwear to outdoor gear.
Why don't you buy it and I'll borrow it?
The idea? Manufacturers, some big names, are skipping the department stores, selling directly to the customer.
Sarah, look at this one.
It all started about 15 years ago, when a handful of manufacturers sold their excess stuff out of old warehouses.
We call them roll-aid stores in the industry because they spelled relief.
But they're spelling profits now. Customers, anxious for bargains, have filled the outlet stores and their cash registers. So manufacturers have funneled more and more merchandise away from department stores.
With the economy the way it is, people are looking for sales.
And straight into the outlet centers. This one in Boaz, Alabama, just 10 stores 8 years ago, now has 150.
It has expanded beyond our wildest expectations. There's no way in the world we could have ever imagined that it would grow to what it is today.
The Boaz Mall is part of the first generation of outlet centers built as strip malls, cheap, simple, and quietly set up along America's back roads. But a new generation of outlet malls is on the horizon. It keeps the cheap structure all right, but quiet and simple are out of the picture. The newest outlet malls are tapping into a whole new approach. They've added scenery, entertainment.
This is part of my vacation, going to Sawgrass. Shopping. Shopping, right.
Some, like this one in Fort Lauderdale, are drawing in shoppers from all over the world. And ironically, they're starting to draw in department stores, looking for a way to sell their overstock. Even Saks Fifth Avenue has opened an outlet.
$5,000, this dress, this Perry Ellis. Was.
How much is it now?
Now it's 500. Right, less than 500.
We're slashing prices. Everything must go.
You're serious?
I'm serious.
Shopping outlet has its drawbacks. Selection can be limited.
My smallest size is 6.5. Which is going to be way too big.
And some items have been hanging around a while.
You see this? It's pulled out. Sweaters shouldn't be hung. God knows how long it's hanging.
But industry watchers think thrift-conscious consumers of the 90s are ready to sacrifice service.
Do you have any cartons here? Any empty cartons anywhere?
For savings.
I believe that the outlet mall is going to emerge as the greatest growth segment of retailing in this decade.
I was planning on stopping to see your site on Thursday.
We're about 30 miles from Montreal.
Our typical tenant mix is Bugle Boy, Guess, Donna Karen.
They were plenty optimistic at this year's Outlet Mall convention, making deals to build dozens of new outlet malls.
I've heard this is the way to the future.
Listen, we're putting $500 million a year into this business, so we hope so.
I'm not out for glamour, I'm out for bargains.
She's the shopper the outlet malls are banking on, no longer interested in bragging how much they spent. They're having a lot more fun boasting just how much they saved.
Wish us luck. Wish us luck, Dave. We're going to do a lot of shopping.
In Fort Lauderdale, Florida, this is Erin Hayes for Eye on America.
The mauling of America, part of our world tonight. Dan Rather for the CBS Evening News. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Experience CBS News.
This is CBS.